All right. So let's go ahead and choose one from the list and we'll prompt it. A lot of people are talking about Toppy. I think Toppy is one of the ones that you can choose from. Was one of the ones you can choose on Novel Crafter. So I've seen people talking about it. It is very, very cheap. Look at this. It is not even 100th. It's 1,000. It's 1,000. It's 3,000th of a penny for 1,000 tokens. Okay. So you'd have to prompt a whole lot in order to get even a penny or even 10 cents, right? It has a nice long context length window. 32,000. Great. Data privacy. Also anonymous. Fine by me. Unfiltered. Great. Let's go take a look at it and we'll see how it prompts. All right. And the best place to do that, just to like test out models. I mean, you can test them out in Rexy too, all you want. Feel free to make a project, a series in Rexy that's just testing of open source models and go at it. Make one prompt in Rexy and just keep changing the model and hitting the button and seeing what comes back, because then you'd have that all in your Rexy as well. That's a great idea. I just came up with that on the fly. Go do that. That's a great idea, right? Let's do that right now. I love that idea. I love it when I come up with an idea right in class. Yes, let's do that. All right, so here we are. This is my Rexy. I renamed it Currently Writing at some point, which you can do if you want to. Let's create a new series. And I'm going to call this series Testing All the Open Source Models. Okay. All right. I've changed my series as well. Yeah, I just like basically took out the blackjack and I made a button here that blackjacks can go up into here at some point. And I'm just gonna leave this testing all the open source models, and let's go ahead and open Rexy. There he is. Load my project, testing all the open source models, load it up, go back to my project, and I turn on auto log. This is what I was talking about with Ariadne before class. You just go turn on auto log, and then that way it just keeps a log of everything that you're doing. It will keep a log of your prompts, and in there it will include things like your temperature, your top P, anything else it needs, including your system prompt, the user prompt, and then the response as well. So it's nice to have it like a little extra on the side, right? So prompter, I'm just go ahead and open it up. I'm going to make the system prompt. I'm not going to send a system prompt. I'm just going to do a very basic user prompt. Please write me a scene where this is my favorite prompt, where a woman has lost her dog and she's running after the dog through the woods. Okay. That's my favorite testing prompt. Okay. No system prompts. Don't need anything other than here because I'm just going to pass the system prompt and we're going to see what it can do. By choosing Open Router over here, we can go through and we can find whatever you want, right? Toppy is here at the top. Did you know that you can just start typing in here and find the things you need? You can type in Open AI and it will bring up all of the Open AIs right up to the top. So you can also type in there if you want to. I'm not going to turn on prompt assist. I'm still squishy on what that does. I'm going to turn the temperature down a little. I'm going to turn the top P down a little bit. And we will leave the maximum length there. And I'm just going to go ahead and update it. And then I'm going to call Open Router. Okay. All right, I completed that with 388 words. I saved it to the auto write of this testing all open source models, right? And it's in the auto write. So I'm going to put in here copy 7B. And then this way I see it. It's here in my auto write, Toppy 7B. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and check out a different one. Let's go to Open Router again. And I want to see something else. Let's do Cinematica. I actually asked the Open Router people about this particular LLM because I thought it was very interesting the way that it produced material. It sounded very, sounded already like it was either a script or like a movie. And it turns out that they have been fine tuning this particular model on like Hollywood scripts or something like this. I don't know where they're getting the scripts from. I'm not going to ask. I'm sure that it's that they figured out something on how to train this model, but it's very interesting the way that it outputs. So we're going to try it out here. Okay, so we're going to go and we're going to do Cinematica. There it is. I'm not going to change any of these things. I will update and then that's real helpful, right? The dog has been stolen by a man and she's trying to get it back. Okay. Like that's not very helpful, right? So we'll go into here and I'm going to change this to Cinematica so that I know what it is. And then that's what you can do too. When you're testing out open source models, you can use Rexy to go through and try a bunch of different ones, see which ones you like the most, right? You may like Mythomist or Mythomax and not want to use any of the other ones. You may love like 5 of them and switch back and forth between them, right? In general, when we're trying to test for not safe for work stuff, I will tell you that Elizabeth and I, we have 2 prompts that we do, and we ask the model to write us a blowjob, and then we ask the model to write us like a chainsaw murder, and we see how well it does. It's kind of crazy that that's become my life, but that's where we are, okay? Right? So find the thing that you're gonna be writing the most, whether maybe it's a gay male romance scene, get a bunch of them to write them and see how they do. You may like one over the other. If you're writing serial killers or you're writing action adventure with like lots of violence, you may want to develop your own prompt, just like I did with the woman chasing the dog through the woods. Like you have your one standard prompt that you test a lot of them with and you see how they do and you like them and you just make a list. Make a list. That's what I do. Make a list. Okay. All right, we're coming up to the top of the hour. I've gone over most of the things in this class that are here. My model comparison activities that's at the very bottom of the list is basically what we just did with Rexy. You can always do it yourself just in Open Router, and I'll show you that real quick. By clicking on chat, you can go ahead and set up like lots of their models over here on the left-hand side, and you can turn them on or off in the chat, which is kind of cool. Let me go ahead and clear this chat. And then like each one of the models, you can twirl down this little arrow here and you can put in a system prompt if you want to. They have all of the hyperparameter sliders, which we have taught you a couple of times. And if you don't know what those are, you can go ahead and search for hyperparameters in the Future Fiction Academy notes and find classes that we've already done on these to understand what they all are. And then you can hold on to these little models. See, they're all in here. I've made a bunch of them that I've just been testing over the years, and you can turn them all on. I'll turn on all of these, and then you can give one prompt, like please write me a scene, and all of them will respond. Which is great. So you can see it's still writing, this one's still writing, this one's thinking. All of them are going to respond. And then you can do that too. As one fail swoop, just put your prompt in, have them all respond, see which one you like, make a list. I like the Rexy way because this way it's all just there in my Notion and I can go back and I can look at the actual responses. It's really how much harder to save them here from their playground. You have to click to open up each one of them and then go ahead and copy and paste to another document if you want to save them. So, to each their own, though one of these might be better than the other. Okay. All right. Lulu.